Law and Order, SVU, the gun. Is this thing good, and should you use it? Let's find out. So, our boy over here wants to let us know about Law and Order. So what are the upgrades on the Law and Order? So we have the moving while aiming, or the aiming accuracy. I would say moving while aiming is a little bit better, because if you look at the base stats of this thing, I don't think it needs aiming accuracy. Moving while aiming just allows you to move around a little bit better, which is something that you can't get from raw stats. We have a recoil decrease or breath holding, so depending on what you prefer, either is fine really. It just depends on your preference. Aiming speed for the final in here. Aiming speed is nice because you can ADS faster. With this gun, you do want to be ADSing. For the other upgrades, we have another aiming speed or a readiness. I would say aiming speed is a little bit better over readiness, and then for the second tier, you can either get aiming accuracy or recoil recovery. I think the recoil recovery is better. It's already super accurate. I don't even think this does anything, frankly. And then for the final tier, you can get recoil decrease or moving while aiming. So this is actually a meaningful decision. Both are good, depends on preference. Also note that you can throw a 4x scope on this. Other weapons, I think the SVD already has a 4x scope, but this defaults to an 8x, and then you can switch it to a 4x, which is nice. Wear and tear, definitely get that. This gun has durability problems, so it takes 275 shots before it breaks, and on veteran mode, you have 25% less durability. And then if you want to consider, like when you start jamming, that's typically around 50% durability, as you'll start seeing jams. So you typically want to keep your gun above 50%, and with such low per shot durability, this gun can burn out quickly. But there is an advantage of it over other weapons, which we'll show soon. Flatness versus weight reduction. Either is fine, honestly. Either is fine, depends on what you want. Like it loses a substantial amount of weight, so the weight reduction is probably better than flatness, honestly. Then aiming accuracy, you can get it. It doesn't really matter. You don't really need it. Tactical foregrip. Look at all the stats here. Spread decrease, recoil recovery. Definitely get that. Laser designator, significant spread decrease, more aiming speed. And then for the final upgrades, so we have to talk about one of them in a second, but flash suppressor, spread decrease, that's nice. The 15% bullet range versus flatness. From what I can tell, this is better because it had a higher range increase. It's still basically 5 range though. And then reduced damage drop off should be better than bullet velocity 5%. Some of these are just like, it's like tricky what it's doing. So like damage drop off is different from the flatness. There's like bullet drop, like how long until the bullet arcs, and then there's damage drop off, which is the distance from the gun at which damage starts to like get reduced. So damage drop off is a better stat to improve for sure. And then there's armor piercing 10%, but it's bugged and no one can install it. So there's all of your upgrades and the one attachment of the scope. So you can remove it to switch to the normal scope as well. So let's look at the breakpoints. The attachments on the SVU are a 10 round extra capacity magazine, so it goes from 10 to 20. And you can also go from the standard 8x zoom to a 4x zoom by attaching a PSO 4x, allowing you to have a closer ranged optic, which is pretty nice. Now the SVU is pretty good, and I'll show it. Its big downside is its durability. So this is a higher health exosuit. It one taps base ammo on veteran mode. The ones with the brown helmets have more health. So it'll one tap all of those. Body shots, it's not really that good. It takes several body shots, like 3 to 4 body shots with AP to kill an endgame exo, but a single headshot from base ammo will kill. So that's really all you need. And follow-up shots are pretty easy to make, so unlike the M701, which is pretty punishing if you miss, this is actually more forgiving. So if you want something that has worse durability, but good breakpoints, can one tap, more forgiving, faster fire rate, can reload 10 to 20 at a time if you have extended mag. It can go up to 11/21 depending on if you have a round in the chamber. Pretty forgiving weapon. For recoil pattern, I don't really think that should be too much of a concern, but it's kind of all over the place. You basically want to shoot like this. You don't want to go, like, I don't know how that ended up there. I shot 2 here and it, like, just kind of started jumping around. Let's try that again. That was with no, like, mouse movement. Yeah, the recoil kind of goes crazy. I don't think you can compensate for this because it starts kicking to, like, the side and then below and then above. So, like, I would just shoot it like that. Wait for the recoil to reset and then resume shooting. But pretty good weapon with the 4x scope. Honestly, the 8x is overkill. The 4x allows you to be aggressive, to kill around 100 exosuits before you start seeing jamming issues, which is a lot. So if you only use this for exosuits, that's really where it shines. And I do not recommend using it against mutants. You should use like a shotgun or an SMG or like an LMG or an assault rifle against those, or a Gauss. All of those are significantly better choices for dealing with mutants. You'll burn through its durability if you go for mutant kills, because realistically it has like 100 to 120 shots before it starts getting low durability. And even after this encounter, like this fight, I'm already at 87%, so it's like, well, I did shoot all these shots over here. To be fair, that's like 20 more kills. So yeah, that's it for the SVU. Pretty good gun. Definitely like S tier because it just has good breakpoints. But it does have durability problems. That's really its big issue. So definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful, and I will see you in the next one.